the live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie, which proves that everything we thought we knew about dragons was a misconception, is finally here. Come on, let's dive into how the friendship between a scrawny Viking boy and the most feared dragon changed the destiny of an entire people. Our story begins on the island of Berk, a place forgotten at the edge of the map, perpetually shrouded in fog and cursed with dragon raids. This is the home of the Vikings, a tough, stubborn people who enjoy winter. Their wooden houses huddled together for defense against the pounding of rocky cliffs and fierce waves. For them, hunting dragons is a matter of honor. And at the head of these colossal Vikings is Stoik the Vast, the most fearless leader of his tribe. A man with shoulders as wide as a doorway who looks like he could topple mountains with a single punch. Stoik is a leader who lives for his people, prioritizing their safety above all else. Stoik, however, carries a heavy burden of disappointment, his son, Hiccup. Compared to a Viking, Hiccup is more like a leaf tossed in the wind. Unlike his father and his peers, he has no massive muscles. His strength lies in his sharp intellect and the peculiar inventions he forges in the blacksmith's fire. But on Berk, where brute force means everything, these qualities don't amount to much. Because of this, no one takes him seriously, especially not his father. Hiccup's one dream is to one day kill a dragon to prove himself, to erase that look of disappointment from his father's eyes, and maybe, just maybe, to catch the attention of Astrid, the most skilled and fearless young warrior on the island. The island's biggest problem is the dragons. Natters, gronkles, zipplebacks, hundreds of them, of different species and with different abilities, constantly attack the village, stealing livestock and setting homes on fire. But among them, there is one that has become a nightmare whispered about around Viking campfires, the Night Fury. It is so fast, so mysterious, that no one has ever seen it and lived to tell the tale. It's known only by the purple plasma blasts it leaves behind and an ominous whistling sound in the wind. It is, in essence, the night itself. During another one of these chaotic dragon raids, Hiccup emerges with his secret invention, a bola launcher he calls the Mangler. Disobeying his father's command to stay inside, he fires the moment he hears the high-pitched shriek he believes belongs to the Night Fury. And a scream vanishes into the darkness. He could swear he hit it, but in the chaos, no one believes him. On the contrary, the commotion he causes gets in the way of the other Vikings, making the raid even more destructive. Hiccup, who set out hoping to become a hero, is once again ostracized by everyone for causing yet another disaster in the village. The next day, despite no one believing him and even mocking him, a flicker of hope remains in Hiccup. He ventures deep into the forest to find the dragon he shot down. Following a trail of broken trees and deep gouges in the earth, he finds the legendary creature tangled and helpless in the net of his invention, the Night Fury. This is his chance, the moment he has dreamed of for years. He draws his knife. He can finally prove himself to his father, to Astrid, to the entire village. Plunging that knife into the dragon's heart would change his entire life. But what's this? The dragon opens its eyes, and in them, Hiccup doesn't see pure rage, but the same desperation and fear he feels himself. He realizes in that moment, this isn't a monster, but a terrified creature just like him. He can't do it. He can't be a killer. He lowers his knife and sets the dragon free. Instead of killing Hiccup, the freed Night Fury pounces on him, pinning him to the ground with a terrifying roar. As Hiccup braces for death, The dragon just roars and then leaves. But it can't quite get away. It can't fly. Hiccup's shot had torn off a part of its tail fin, which acts as a rudder, completely destroying its balance. After this incident, Hiccup is forcibly enrolled in dragon training by his father. In an arena where Astrid and the other teens shine with their muscle and strength, Hiccup is a complete disaster. However, in the forest, he begins to build a secret friendship with the Night Fury, who he now calls Toothless. He brings him fish, sketches his movements, and learns his weak points, what he loves and what he hates. He discovers that Toothless has a deadly hatred for eels, that the scent of a certain plant calms him, that he chases a reflection of light like a cat, and that he goes into a state of bliss when a specific spot under his neck is scratched. He starts using this secret knowledge in the dragon training arena. While the others attack with brute force, Hiccup neutralizes the dragons with a single move, a scratch, or a plant. Suddenly, the village's clumsiest kid becomes the most talented dragon trainer. Everyone is in awe of him, but Astrid is suspicious of this sudden and surprising success. Hiccup uses his blacksmithing skills to create a mechanical tail fin for Toothless made of leather and metal. Now, Toothless can only fly with a mechanism controlled by Hiccup. Together, they soar through the sky, dancing above the clouds. This is the first moment of true freedom and happiness in Hiccup's life. But this secret doesn't last long. Astrid follows Hiccup and discovers Toothless. As she panics and tries to warn the village, Hiccup and Toothless catch her and take her on the flight of her life. Terrified at first, Astrid experiences that magical moment above the clouds and understands the truth Hiccup has learned. Dragons are not the monsters they thought they were. But the adventure doesn't end there. During the flight, they see hundreds of dragons flying in a swarm in one direction. Toothless instinctively follows them, and they are led to a dragon's nest inside a giant volcano. And there, they confront a terrible truth. The dragons weren't stealing food for themselves, but to feed a colossal, cruel Red Death living in the depths of the nest. The Red Death would instantly eat any dragon that didn't bring enough food. The dragons weren't killers, they were victims. For his final test in training, Hiccup must kill a dragon in front of the entire village. However, he drops his weapons and tries to show them the true nature of dragons. Just as he manages to calm the dragon in the arena, his father, Stoic's roar of "Stop!" turns the arena into chaos. The dragon panics and goes out of control. Hearing Hiccup scream, Toothless dives into the arena to save him. For the first time, the villagers see a Night Fury up close and are terrified. Toothless saves Hiccup but is trapped and captured by the Vikings. Stoic is devastated when he learns his son has befriended a dragon. Hiccup tells his father about the Red Death and the nest. Stoic sees this as an opportunity. He chains Toothless to a ship and sets off to destroy the nest, using him as a guide. He leaves his son behind, saying, "You're not my son anymore." Hiccup has lost everything, but Astrid gives him hope. Hiccup decides to act like a Viking instead of a coward. He gets Astrid and the other teens to join him, and they ride the other dragons they tamed in the training arena to go save their fathers. When Stoic and the Vikings arrive at the nest, the Red Death emerges and begins to destroy the entire fleet. Just when they think all is lost, a squadron of dragon riders appears in the sky, Hiccup and his friends. A massive battle begins. While the teens distract the Red Death, Hiccup tries to free the chained Toothless on the sinking ship. Stoic sees how brave his son is, dives into the water, and frees Toothless himself. In that moment, he is truly proud of his son. Now it's time for the final showdown. Hiccup and Toothless engage in an impossible fight against the Red Death. Using their intelligence, they lure it into the clouds and obscure its vision. Toothless fires a powerful plasma blast into the Red Death's mouth, causing the giant beast to explode from the inside. But victory comes at a heavy price. During the explosion, Hiccup falls from Toothless's back. Despite his burning mechanical tail, Toothless dives into the flames to save his friend. When Hiccup opens his eyes, he's in his bed back on Berk. It's quiet. Beside him, his loyal friend Toothless is purring, waiting for him. When he tries to get up, he realizes something is missing: his left leg. He lost it in the chaos of the battle. Just like Toothless's missing tail fin, he now has a prosthesis made in the forge. The two friends are now like two pieces of a whole, physically completing each other, their destinies intertwined. When he opens the door, he is met with a completely different Berk, one he could never have imagined. Vikings and dragons are now living together in peace and harmony. Dragons perch on rooftops, children jump on gronkles, and Vikings go fishing with natters. There is no longer fear, only joy and cooperation. His father hugs him, and with the look of pride he had longed for years, says, "I'm proud of you, son." And Astrid greets him with a kiss, like a reward for the adventure that started it all. In the end, Hiccup proved himself not by killing a dragon, but by understanding one, showing it mercy, and becoming its friend. His courage and compassion, which stood against prejudice, changed not only his own life, but the future of his entire people. The Vikings ended their centuries-long, meaningless war and discovered the power of living with dragons, not killing them. Hiccup's story proves that our greatest enemy can actually be our best friend, and that true strength lies not in muscles, but in the heart and mind. So, we've seen how this timeless story has come to life in live action. Don't forget to share your thoughts about the movie and your favorite scenes in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more recaps. See you in the next video.